All right, guys, going to be checking out another big bore air rifle here today on the channel. You guys know that we love to launch large pills downrange with a generous amount of velocity. And today we're going to be checking out the Seneca Dragon Claw. This is a 50 cal smooth bore air rifle. It is a pre-charged pneumatic, and this thing is actually getting some nice power. We do have some Nielsen projectiles. These particular ones are 235 grains. This is a 50 caliber. Let's go ahead and launch one into this watermelon and get the party started. All right, and we'll talk a little bit more as we go. It is a single shot, load in the rear, close the collar, safety off, cock it, the gun's ready to shoot. We can take out Mr. Watermelon. Here we go. Nice hole there. Okay, it didn't really come apart with a crazy amount of force. Now this gun can totally take down large animals, you know, just like the Texan can. It is a smooth bore. It's not rifled like the Texan is, but the accuracy is still pretty decent. And this gun has a really interesting shot shell that we're going to show you as well. Before we get started, I would like to thank our friends at Pyramid Air for providing this particular example for us to show off in a video here today for you. And a big thanks to them for supporting our channel. Make sure you send the code IV8888 to the number down below. You can actually get yourself a nice discount if you decide that you want to do business with Pyramid Air. Great group of people. They got all of your compressors and your fill lines and hoses and tanks and projectiles and all your accoutrements, if you will. And of course, excellent customer service, fast shipping, really great selection. Check them out, Air Venturi, and a big thanks again. Not Air Venturi, Pyramid Air, although this is a Air Venturi product, so big thanks to them as well. All right, we're gonna shoot it again. To load it, push this forward, take the projectile, load it into the rear here, okay? Air Venturi is a house brand of Pyramid Air, as far as I know. All right, we're gonna cock it. We're at about 275 bar on the fill. Let's go ahead and smack that watermelon one more time just for fun. Nice. Now, we took a Air Force Airguns Texan on a deer hunt not too long ago. You probably saw that particular video. The 50 cal, well, this particular gun uses a special size projectile that you can't run in the Texan. This is actually a 498 diameter projectile, whereby your standard 50 caliber projectiles that go in your muzzle loaders, I think, are 510 if I'm not mistaken. So there's a considerable size difference. So this projectile Nielsen makes especially for the Seneca wing shot and the Dragon Claw, and they make a double barrel that we're going to show off in a future video. This is the single barrel version called the Dragon Claw. All right, but this particular projectile is shooting quite nice. All right, let's take let's launch one in at 50 yards and hit our round down there. That's a 10-inch round plate. See if we can lob one in there. Now again, this is a smooth bore. Oh, just a little low. Little low. Let's try again. All right. Oh yeah. Lots of force. I have to say that the Texan might have a little bit more power than this gun by a decent margin, mainly because generally designed to shoot a heavier projectile and it's rifled, so you're going to get much better velocity than out of a smooth bore. We are going to show the shot shells. All right, that's a fair amount of energy there. Let's try one of these poppers here kind of close. Ooh, that was some energy. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and show off the shot shell. I'm going to unscrew the muzzle device. So this is just a thread protector that's kind of like a cylinder bore shotgun choke, if you will, that doesn't really add or constrict at all. And then there's a choke. So this is the shotgun choke attachment. I'm going to go ahead and put the shotgun choke on there. Now, the shot shell that's available for this thing, it just looks like it's got some basic bird shot in there, okay? And it looks kind of like this. It's a little capsule, plastic capsule, full of shot. Looks like number 8 shot or number 7, 7.5, something like that, you know, kind of a light bird shot. We're going to try a few of these out. Now, earlier we were testing them. They didn't really seem like they patterned super well, and they didn't have a ton of energy. but that was also when the gun was a little bit lower. So right now the gun is on a very healthy 200 bar, which is just getting into the red. So let's try the shot shell, and I'll try just patterning one up close here and just see what it looks like. I know it might be hard to tell on the film here. We might pattern that popper right there to the right, okay? That way we got a fresh target. So let's go ahead and give it a try. And I'm just gonna pattern it on that guy right there. We've got the choke in there. Let's give it a try. Yep, it spread that shot, pretty decent spread. Now, if you were up close, it would probably kill a snake or a rabbit or, you know, a small rat or something like that. But I wouldn't expect a lot of lethality at any kind of crazy distance with the shot cup. But I wanted to show the capabilities of the shot cup. Pretty interesting. It's nice to have a gun that can do both. It can work like a shotgun and like a rifle. Personally, I feel it probably has a little more use shooting solids, but I just want to show this off. Okay, we got one more bird round. I'll tell you what, just to see, I don't know what kind of energy we're gonna get. I might shoot that watermelon and let's just see if it pierces or penetrates. I doubt it's going to, but let's just see if we can get a few of those projectiles to penetrate the watermelon. It's about 25 yards away. All right, I think this is gonna be kind of dismal, but let's look. Well, it patterned good at long range. I saw the pattern hit down range. It looks like it had a decent spread. Some of those projectiles might have went through the watermelon. Let me, I wanna have a look real quick. Let's look. It looks like maybe about a dozen other projectiles entered the watermelon but did not exit. So not a ton of power with the shot, but let's swap back up to the solids and do this watermelon improper. About we do that. All right, we switched back to the solid launcher. We got our choke off of there. Let's go ahead and hit this watermelon with a solid. Clean through. Look at that. All right, one more time we'll hit that watermelon. This projectile doesn't have quite the mass of some of the other ones that we've seen in the Texan, but still an admirable effort and definitely a lot of power. Look at that, clean through. Both those rounds about stacked right on top of each other. I mean, the thing's real accurate for being a smooth bore, and we're kind of getting down on the amount of shots that we've got left in our cylinder. We are going to charge this thing up. Right now we are at about 175 bars, so pretty good. I mean, we shot what, 6 solids and 2 shot rounds, so a decent amount of shots on a fill. Even though these are 235 grain bullets, they're still working quite well, and we're getting a fair amount on a fill. Let's shoot a longer range popper. I want to hear this round smack that popper at longer range. Oh yeah, that sound is about like the Texan does when it hits a piece of steel. All right, we got a target down at 50. Let's try that 10-inch round offhand. Now these guns look like they'd be relatively ungainly or difficult to point or difficult to maneuver or something like that. They're really not. You do have a 3/8 inch dovetail scope mount on top of this thing if you want to mount some sort of an optic. The iron sights are kind of crude and a little coarse, but they do work. The rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation. We had to make a few minor adjustments out of the box. You got a walnut stock with your pressure indicator. Of course, your pre-charged pneumatic cylinder, which is this slender cylinder up here, is where all that's working there. All right, we got a projectile in there. All right, we're gonna shoot that 10-inch plate. The thing handles great offhand. It's actually very comfortable to shoot. That hit the protection plate down low. I think we're getting a little low on air. I'm gonna try one more shot and aim a little higher, and then we're gonna top this gun off because we don't wanna run it too low on air. Okay. Yeah, we're getting a little low on air. They're dropping in a little lower. Woo! It smacks that freaking gong. All right, I'm gonna fill this up, and while we're doing it, I'll show you how we fill this gun up and top it off. Chamber's empty. We're good to go. Safety's on, and the bolt is forward. Gun is safe. The fill line hooks up right here on the end of the cylinder. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this up off of our bottle. Real easy. Connect the valve just like we did there. Okay. We're gonna make sure the bleed valve is closed on our big tank, our fill tank. We're gonna go ahead and open it up. And then we're gonna pay attention to what's going on down here. Well, that's filling up quite nicely. All right, that's 200 bar, getting a little higher. Okay. Looks good. Happy with that. All right, we close it, bleed it off. And now we are topped off. It's just that simple. All right, so in addition to the Seneca Dragon Claw being able to fire solids and shot shell cups, this thing can also be used as the ultimate air bow. Here we've got our air bolts here, and these are set up for the Seneca Dragon Claw and many of the other Seneca products. This is set up with a 300 grain steel force broadhead, a 2-blade broadhead, and we're gonna try out the Dragon Claw here in an arrow launching roll with a smooth bore barrel. So that's one benefit of the smooth bore, is that it gives you the ability to stuff a lot of random objects down the barrel. Now we're gonna be real careful not to cut ourselves here. Ooh, look at that. Okay, now this thing generates a metric ton of power with the arrows in it. I think you're gonna like this. We'll start out with the watermelon. Hopefully I can connect here. Let's try these arrows out. Pooh, son. Crap. There's so much power, it's ridiculous. Okay, I think y'all get the idea. I just want to demonstrate the arrows. These broadheads are wicked. All right, let's try again. I'm having so much fun with this. I really want to try that watermelon again. Woo, son, that was a good direct hit that time. That went right through, clean pass through. This rig right here has a tremendous amount of power with these arrows, the 300 grain arrows. So this thing could totally be used in a hunting situation, no problem, if that's something you decide you wanted to do. Okay, we're gonna try a soda bottle just for fun. Well, that shot right where I was looking. I was figuring that it might go off to the left a bit, and it ended up shooting right where I was looking. So that gives you an idea of what the gun can do in terms of the arrow launcher. I'm not quite doing so good with it, but not bad. I would imagine maybe with a scope mount and a little red dot might be able to zero this thing a little better. I'm just using these irons, which admittedly are a little crude, but what a versatile gun. So let me swap back over. We'll try some solids out. Let's do it. Smack that watermelon one more time. See if we can shoot it apart a little bit. Punch a hole clean through it. I'd be very interested to see how this particular gun holds up against large game. Like if you're gonna try to shoot something like a deer with it. I know we've got a lot of kill data with the Texan, and it's performed quite well both in the 45 and the 50. This gun being a smooth bore, it probably doesn't get quite the foot-pounds of energy as a rifled pill launcher would get in an air rifle form. But for a PCP that can compete in price with the Texan by a pretty strong margin, look, I love Texans, they're awesome, they're amazing, but this gun does represent a pretty respectable value if you're wanting to get into a big bore air rifle and you're not wanting to spend a metric ton of money doing it. These things are affordable, but don't chalk them up as just a cheap gun. Like Senecas, these things are great. I've been very happy with them. My wing shot is awesome. I freaking love it. It's a great gun. The Dragon Claw is no different. In fact, I'd say this one's probably a little bit better appointed than some of the earlier wing shots that are out there. But they're all pretty similar. You know, nice wood stock, Monte Carlo cheek piece, you know, a rubber recoil pad. I mean, they're very rifle-like, and that might be something that some folks, you know, sort of tend to prefer, is something that feels more like a real rifle than something that feels kind of futuristic like a bullpup or, you know, one of the Texans, which I'm a Texan man myself. I really do like the 50 cal Texan, but this is a fantastic gun as well, and you should not overlook them. All right, this other popper, we'll take him out. Woo! Okay. One thing I noticed there that I wanted to make mention of, I accidentally did not pull this sleeve all the way to the rear, and I blew the O-ring off of the little slot here. That's not a problem. We're just going to take a little screwdriver and peel it back. Luckily, that's all it does. But if you don't have this collar closed all the way, and especially if that O-ring is blown out and not in place, you will get a little jet of air back in your face, and that's what just happened to me. It didn't affect the velocity of the bullet, I don't think, but just something to bear in mind. So let me fix that real quick. You can just see where that that came back a little bit. That's perfect. We're gonna yank that out of there and put it back where it belongs. Just got to get it back in there. So if that O-ring tries to pop off and scoot back, you just got to make sure it's back in that groove. So we're going to test it again. That was my fault for not closing the door all the way. So again, projectile in place, pull back to a hard stop, make sure it closes back all the way. We'll cock it. That was a user error on my part. That there's no fault of the gun. All right, we'll try another popper here. Beautiful. Shooting right where it's looking. Now I noticed that once we got that air topped off all the way, now the gun is shooting more to point of aim like it's supposed to be. That round landed just a few inches low of where my point of aim was. So you are going to get a little bit of power reduction. As the air drops off in the gun, the rounds will start to settle in a little lower, and eventually you're going to have to kind of know how many shots into a bottle. You know, you have to kind of plan your dope accordingly, okay? But let's try one more shot. I mean, I'm offhanding this 50-yard plate like it's no problem with a smooth bore, big bore air gun. Beautiful. Those two rounds were only an inch or two apart from each other, just offhand. So even though this is a smoothie, the accuracy is quite impressive, I have to say. And I think the power that we're generating is certainly usable for hunting situations. You could put a little scope on this thing and shoot coyotes if you wanted to, or foxes. This thing might even kill a deer, no problem. I think we're getting plenty of power to do that. All right, again, same gong. Beautiful. That round hit just a little low and left, but a triangulation of maybe a 3.5 inch group with a smooth bore 50 cal. I'm very impressed. I'll shoot one more round out of it. I think you guys get the idea. It's a versatile gun with a smooth bore barrel that, you know, is a pre-charged pneumatic with a decent amount of shots on tap that you can launch 50 caliber legitimate pills with and shot shells. So it gives you some flexibility. So one more round and we'll let you guys get back to your day. I just want to kind of show this one off. I have a video coming up on the double barrel version of this gun. Yes, they make a double barrel version that you can have an extra round ready to go in an additional barrel. That particular one we'll have a video coming up on soon. This is the single barrel version, the Dragon Claw. So, all right, one more round. You can't go wrong with big bore. This is a lot of fun. Tell you what, how about the same gong? Why not? We'll just try these hard offhand shots. Beautiful. Could not ask for better. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I love shooting air guns. Believe me, we love showing off all kinds of guns, whatever we can get our hands on. So if it's machine guns, black powder, milsurps, vintage stuff, modern stuff, antique stuff, air guns, you name it, if it shoots a projectile, we love to play with it. So we always relish in the opportunity to show off awesome air gun tech. And again, a big thanks to Pyramid Air for supporting this particular video and sending out this gun for us to check out here for you. So that's been the Seneca Dragon Claw. Hope you like it. Check it out. Again, don't forget to use our code IV8888 and get yourself a discount. Thanks so much. Many more videos on the way. I'll tell you what, one more, why not? One more for the road. One round to rule them all, Frodo, okay? Nothing but net on the gong. No pressure. All right, have a good one.